So context seems to really matter in these situations.
Definitely, yeah. Figuring out how the text is presenting itself, how the people of the first century would be hearing these parables is very important. And I think a lot of times the problem comes along when modern interpretations try to just take the parable and put it into our circumstance. They say, okay, and they do kind of what you do with your parable that you remade there. Is that okay? This guy must have done something wrong, so we do these things. And
How dare he win two Super Bowls in a row? How dare?
yeah, but and any good literature, any good piece of literature must be reinterpreted and rethought of as applicable. So I'm not saying that like, hey, we have to keep this in its first century context, but what we need to do is figure out how the people listening to Jesus, because parables are generally thought for the most part to be connected to the historical Jesus in some way or form. So like for most part, scholars, independent of the Bible, think, hey, Jesus actually taught in parables, and this is, somehow connected to Jesus's words. We can get into historical Jesus at some other point, but um, how these stories were interpreted by the first century audience is very important. So when we reconsider these stories for modern lives, it's important to try to recreate the story in a way that we get the feelings and the emotions and the ideas and the thoughts that the first century audience would get, and not just kind of revamp the story.